think so I mentioned kind of the e-commerce page, the digital page, and then when you go in store, and this is something that we actually haven't been able to capture yet. I would love to be able to do it. But when you look at how our store associates, our muses, are engaging with our customer, On Purpose really gives her a very strong way to emotionally connect with the customer that's coming into our store. And so to connect on a deeper level, and it gives her a way to say, like, these are your values. Oh, we have those values too, and let me show you our On Purpose line. So it is creating more brand affinity with our customer. Have we actually captured that brand affinity in numbers? No, but we know that it's there via the feedback that we're getting from our muses.
What about in terms of buying patterns for the On Purpose line compared to other lines? Are you seeing that, for example, it's bringing in more millennials and customers that might stay with you longer term, even if they're only buying, one here or there compared to other kinds of customers? Like, what's the result of that?
So we actually, I want to say that I know that answer, but I don't yet. We're actually diving deeper into that next year, particularly around International Women's Day, with a new campaign that we're going to be launching on March 8th. And so I can't say that for sure, like backed by numbers, but what we do know is that in terms of, you mentioned buying, right? And if you look at our assortment, you'll see leather, you'll see nylon, you'll see canvas, and then you'll see beading. And one thing that we are really intentional about is about how deep we're going in each of those categories based on what our customer wants from us. And what we're finding actually is that she loves the fabric program that On Purpose offers. So the nylon product and the canvas product that we're rolling out in our stores 4 times a year, she's really, really gravitating towards. So we're actually deepening our volume in those particular categories versus leather.
So do you think, just given that this really rounds out something very unique for you and gives you a totally different fashion model because you're using Rwandan sources, do you think that a typical textile company could replicate that or would want to replicate that? Because Kate Spade is really a higher end product, right? And you benefit from something very unique. But maybe your everyday textile firm who has this idea, like, gosh, maybe we could go and do some ethical supplying and that kind of thing, that they're going to have the same kind of benefit that you would.
My hope is that, we find, there's a lot of these, well, I think there's 2 ways to look at that question, right? There's the brands that come in that are like Kate Spade, the big guys that would come in and actually start sourcing from ADC. Then there's kind of the smaller, I would call them disruptors, companies like Everlane, companies like Mercado Global, companies like Nisolo that are coming in and they're making their the ethical supply chain, the empowerment work that they do, part of who they are from the inception, right? And so ADC can actually serve either one of those customer bases. So when we're looking at, can other brands come in? It would be very, very easy for an Everlane, for any Solo, for any type of those smaller companies to come in and start manufacturing in Rwanda because they're already using a lot of the kind of more localized raw materials, have more of a, I would say, have a different type of aesthetic than what you're looking at with Kate Spade, right? Because that's what their customer base is going to them for. I think what is going to be challenging for ADC moving forward, and particularly in attracting another larger brand like us, is where are you going to get those raw materials? Because the product has to look and feel like it belongs in that store. And for us, a lot of that is based on the types of raw materials that we're using. I mean, we love pink, we like purple, like we like bright colors, and we can't go to a tannery, we can't go to a fabric mill that actually isn't able to meet our color standards. That's something that is very, very important to our brand. But I think you'll find other brands that actually are more open to using more natural hues. They're able to incorporate raw materials that you would be able to source in Africa. That just wasn't an option for us, but I do think that could be an option for another larger brand.
Okay.